Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a floating entertainment center. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below. And if you want to see any of my future videos, please hit the bell icon and enjoy.
The first thing I'm going to do is build the lower portion of the entertainment center. And how I did this was I got a bunch of plywood from Home Depot and I had them cut it into 12-inch strips since the entertainment center is only 12 inches deep. Then I went ahead and cut it down into the right lengths and heights for each piece. Here I'm cutting a 3/4 inch dado into the horizontal piece of the entertainment center. This is the bottom portion, and then I'm also going to do the same on the top portion. This slot is going to be used for the vertical pieces of the entertainment center, where I'm going to glue and screw those pieces in. And when you're gluing this up, make sure you use a lot of glue, spread it nice and evenly. These boxes are going to be for the shelving of the entertainment center, and they are 2 feet wide on each side, leaving a 4-foot shelf in the middle. You could use a brad nailer for this. The glue should be strong enough to hold it. However, I decided to use long screws because I wanted to make this as strong as possible. Plus, the screws would be hidden on the bottom side because it's a floating shelf and it's so close to the floor, you wouldn't even be able to see underneath it. And the top would be covered by the wooden countertop or desktop. The key thing here is to just make sure that everything's square as the glue dries and while you're screwing everything in. If you like what you've seen so far, please hit the like and subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified for future videos. And of course you need something to mount this thing onto the wall, so I decided to just put a piece of plywood at the top and then screw it in. That way when I go to install this thing, I can just screw it straight into the wall. Here I'm cutting out the edging for the plywood. It's going to be 1/4 of an inch thick, so just be careful when you're doing these. There's not much room there for your push stick to go through, but you just keep cutting them off until you have enough for every edge of the plywood. Then go ahead and install your hardwood edging on your plywood. I used glue and brad nails. I cut all of my pieces a little long, that way I could go back with a flush trim saw and flush it up real nice right up against the plywood. And then anything that hung over on the inside or outside of the edging, I just went with a flush trim router bit and made it nice and flush on the inside and outside edges. Like I said, just use a flush trim saw to clean up all those edges. This is how I created the desktop portion of the entertainment center. I used a dowel jig to glue these two pieces up together, but you don't have to. You can just butt them up together and glue them. They should hold just fine with just enough glue and clamps. Or you could even buy a bigger piece of wood, and so you don't have to do any gluing at all. I did this exact same process when building the shelf above. The only difference was the shelf above was twice as thick. That way I could achieve the same thickness appearance as the bottom desktop. The bottom desktop had a 1.5 inch piece glued and brad nailed to the front of it. This gave it the appearance that it was the same thickness as the top shelf. However, for the top shelf, I decided to build it actually 1.5 inches thick all the way through. That way, no matter what angle you're looking at it, it shows that it is 1.5 inches thick. When doing this, just make sure you use a lot of glue. I probably didn't use enough glue here. Just make sure you get a good coverage when you're doing this. And then, of course, a lot of clamps. For the back piece of the entertainment center, I decided to just go with 3/4 inch plywood. It's 8 feet wide by 4 feet tall, and then I just cut these dados in there. This one's 1/4 of an inch dado. Then I went ahead and cut out the side shelving. These shelves are 9 inches deep by 2 feet wide and are also made out of 3/4 inch plywood. Then I also cut out the middle shelf of the entertainment center, which was 48 inches wide by 12 inches deep. Then I went ahead and added the hardwood plywood edging And just like before, I use glue and brad nails to attach. For the middle shelf, I put edging only on the front portion because it's going to be a shelf with both the sides covered up anyway. But for the side shelves, I did put edging all along the entire front and sides. I didn't show any sanding in this video, but you will be doing a lot of sanding in order to make this ready for paint. I use a Graco Magnum X5. It was about, I think, 350 bucks at Home Depot. Pretty good sprayer so far, haven't had any complaints. Just make sure before you paint, you sand really well. And after 1,000,000 hours of sanding, you're ready to either stain or use some sort of oil. This is Danish oil. It says on the can that you don't need to seal it or anything after you use this, so I went ahead and did this. I thought it looked best on this type of wood. The type of wood I used is knotty alder, which doesn't stain very well. So that's why I went with this Danish oil. And this is what it looked like all installed. Had a very happy customer. I'll put a link below for all the brackets that I used for the shelving and the materials I used. But overall, I think it turned out pretty great. If you have any comments or questions, please ask below in the comment section, and always please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.